r/ask Reddit. Which product has seen the biggest drop in quality over the years? Discovery Channel. National Geographic. They used to at one point have some great content, good documentaries and interesting stuff to keep people hooked. Now it's too much fake ass reality, gold digging, porn shipping, cartoning garbage. A total waste of time. Throw in History Channel. 2. Remember when it was actual history and proper documentaries back in the day? Now it's just porn stars, ancient aliens, American pickers, and other similar bullshit. Guess what they ran during the 100th anniversary of World War I? Nothing on the Great War, that's for sure. Shark Week used to also be educational, not the crap it is now. 3 years in a row they've aired fake educational specials for Shark Week about species that people believed were real, and the talk show aspect is awful too. I just want cool documentaries about sharks without focusing on made up shit or the attack aspects. Breyers. Most of their products can't even be called ice cream because it doesn't meet the necessary requirements. Breyers and Blue Bunny grind my gears. First, their container sizes have decreased over the years. Second, they whip way too much air into the mix, so that it's more like scooping out whipped cream than creamy ice cream. I live at a high elevation. When I buy that cheap ice cream full of air, it actually pushes the lid off of the container as I drive up the mountain. That's how much air is in there. They call it frozen dessert now. It's so gross it doesn't melt in the sink. Software. Instead of selling a completed product, they're now licensing you a monthly subscription to an incomplete product, and perhaps, if you're lucky, fixing the defects and adding in missing features months after release. Ugh. Adobe is all subscription these days. Dreamweaver 2019 is damn near unusable for a variety of reasons, but I can't revert to 2015 because of some copyright issue with some third-party library they used or something. Back when I was a kid, boxes of Cracker Jack contained actual toys. For example, I remember finding a little plastic dude with a vinyl parachute at the bottom of a box. My friends and I spent hours launching him off increasingly tall structures, many of which we had to build for ourselves, before we finally accepted that he wasn't going to lazily drift like we had seen in cartoons. Nowadays, though, you're lucky if you can even find a box of Cracker Jack. And if you do, your prize is going to be a piece of paper with a joke worthy of Bazooka Joe on it. The same with toys and cereal boxes. I once got a submarine that you filled with baking soda, put it in the bathtub, and off it went. And temporary tattoos. I had that sub. I remember bringing it to a pool and it sank to the bottom and I couldn't swim, so my dad had to dive for it. That was probably around 1989. Kinder Eggs too used to have the coolest little toys, some with metal parts. You'd have to assemble them. Now, like a little cardboard card or something. Tools. Back in the day, especially when Sears was king, the Craftsman brand tools had a lifetime guarantee, and they honored it, but nonetheless still they rarely broke. Conversely, I've found Harbor Freight to be surprisingly good in recent years. Some of their tools are still crap, but others have blown me away. They're especially good for specialty tools that you might only use infrequently. Using a shitty version of the right tool seems to be to using a good version of the wrong tool for a job. They have a pretty good return policy on their tools if you buy one and find out it's basically worthless, which does still happen occasionally. My Timberland work boots used to last quite a while years and years ago, yet the past couple pairs I purchased took a crap on me after about 6 months. That's because they stopped being work boots and became fashion boots. I don't buy the fashionable Timberlands, because well, I'm not looking to be fashionable. I normally buy the high Timberland Pros or Carolinas, but neither hold up anymore. Insurance. It has been getting progressively harder to just get them to honor the service they obliged to uphold. Sometimes I feel like I'm just throwing money at them to research more ways to deny claims. Insurance. Pay $5,000 a year and we'll cover you. Me. My house just flooded and then someone robbed it. Insurance. LOL, tough shit bro. Oh tough break, we don't cover floods, only water damage. Sarai. YouTube. Man. Being thrown an ad every 5 minutes? That's insane. uBlock Origin. Best ad blocker around. Not a signal ad on YouTube. Yes, Ad blockers are a must now. However, it can get very stressful when I get to watch videos on another computer that doesn't have an ad blocker though. Anything that people can squeeze advertising into. I counted the ads on FB recently. There's literally ads every 2-4 posts. I'm fully convinced they will try to go for over half ads because they know most people won't leave. Yesterday I saw FB on a computer without uBlock. It was painful. When my parents got a new laptop, I took control of setting it up for them and installed uBlock Origin. Not sure they notice the difference, but I sure as duck do. The quality of the advertising has dropped off significantly too. TV commercials used to be kind of fun and entertaining, but now that they're losing money to other media formats, the production value has dropped off. Then you have YouTube commercials and mobile gaming ads that will make you want to claw your eyes out and rupture your eardrums. I can't remember the last time I saw the commercial and thought it was even mildly clever. Pizza Hut. Way back in the day, they used to be a nice little sit-down family restaurant. Nothing upscale, mind you, but it was good food and a nice atmosphere. Somewhere along the line, they cheaped the duck out and became a trashy fast food joint. I suppose it was to compete with all the other pizza places, but competition should drive quality up and or prices down, not vice versa. My wife and I found a then still existing Pizza Hut like this about 7 or 8 years ago, just post dinner hour, and no one was in there at all. They had everything from the fancy glass on the lights to the arcade games in the corner. I'd love to find another Pizza Hut like that again. The old dessert ice cream buffet they had was the best. Architecture on government buildings in the US. In my hometown there was this old courthouse that just made the downtown look beautiful. The new buildings just look like cheap offices. Honestly, that's because if they did spend the money to make it look nice, the headlines would scream about how the government spent $X amount on something superfluous. It's funny, even though at the outset it might seem superfluous, having better looking buildings makes towns and properties near them more valuable. I see it as an investment in having a nice community, but certainly people can be dogged about spending. On a similar vein, in the private sector, US, cities are all basically just a bunch of sprawling fast food, pharmacies, gas stations, and chain stores. If anyone tries to set up their own business, they just get undercut by all the big corporate brands. It's hard to see much identity anymore. I used to live in a small town that had a strict ban on chain businesses. Everything was unique or a ma and pa type restaurant. It was so nice and gave the town a real identity and a great vibe. Then Subway fought for 2 years to get around the ban and set up a gaudy franchise. And now others are starting to infiltrate and undersell everyone else. It's sad. Appliances. $5,000 for a fridge that'll die a month after the warranty expires. Seriously, my dad does appliance service. He cannot believe the drop in quality from the 1970s to now. Used to a refrigerator would last you 30 years. Now, you'll have 5 service calls on the ice maker before the warranty goes out and it will only last 7 years. I took apart my dryer when it stopped working. Wasn't the belt or motor. Some microchip that can't stand heat went. For $150 I could buy another chip that I'd have to replace again. I bought a 15U dryer off Kijiji for $50. That's when you get a Speed Queen. They eschew electronic controls in favor of the old style electromechanical ones. That's why they last forever. Tim Hortons. I agree. Now whatever you get tastes the same. All their toaster does is char my bagel while it's still practically raw. I imagine the employee training goes something like you only need to do one side of the bagel. The other should remain dry and tasteless. Levi's jeans. I've been wearing them for 50 plus years and the quality is hit and miss now. I've been wearing 32x32 since high school and it's a 50/50 chance they will fit like they should when I try them on. And they don't last as long as they used to either. I am disappointed. Levi's probably pisses me off on inconsistent sizing more than anything else, but goddammit if their made and crafted pants aren't the only thing I ever wear. I have Levi's ranging from 33-36 inch waist that all fit exactly the same. Most of them are the same style. Man shrugging. Individual cups of yogurt. Yogurt used to be 8 ounces in a cup. Then, people decided that it was some sort of health fad snack, which meant calorie counting. So some yogurt companies starting selling 6-ounce cups, because then they would have 25% fewer calories and they thought people wouldn't notice. Well, I ducking noticed. Duck you 6-ounce cups of yogurt. That is not enough yogurt. Hell, they aren't even 6. They are 5.3 now. Nickelodeon. Yes, well it kinda peaked with Avatar: The Last Airbender. The funny part is that they actually distanced themselves from that franchise. They didn't even advertise Legend of Korra season 3 or 4. And they didn't put it on TV either. Online only. Nobody knows why. KFC. Where I live all the restaurants have been getting worse over the years. Not sure if that counts as a product, but I just gotta put that out there. KFC sucks so bad now. Even their mashed potatoes now are trash. Popeyes is still pretty good, but they were recently bought out by RBI, who are the same guys that bought out Tim Hortons, Pizza Hut, KFC, and others, which have all gone to shit. So Popeyes days are numbered. Sucks. Ticonderoga pencils. They used to be great. Whatever wood they're using isn't any longer, so they don't sharpen as well and they break much easier. Back in college, I got a set of pencils that were breaking down the center, splitting into 2 pieces of wood and the graphite in the middle. I commented to them on Facebook about my issue. They asked for my address, and in a week or 2, I got what felt like a lifetime supply of pencils. It's been 10 years, and I haven't bought a single pencil, wood or mechanical. Thomas brand English muffins used to be better, bigger, and with deeper crevices. They are just a shadow of their former self. You mean nooks and crannies? Yeah, those are the words. The melted peanut butter holders. Pringles. The flavoring was caked on when I was younger. Now it's simply a dusting on each chip. The chips are much thinner now too. Most are broken in the tube. At least you can use the empty tube to drink wine out of. Houses IMO. In the UK at least. Most new houses are prefabricated and cheap. I've known people to buy new houses that have several times as many structural issues as my 80-year-old house. Ducking Stuart Milne in Scotland is the worst for this. They build a new estate in Aberdeen of tiny 2 and 3 bed semi-detached houses, selling them for 300k plus. In the terms and conditions was a clause that you couldn't have more than 3 people in an upstairs room at a time. And if you did, then they couldn't be liable for structural damage. Total con men. Disney used to regularly churn out masterpieces. Now they regularly churn out rehashes of previously successful masterpieces. The parks, however, are now better than ever. They've been throwing so much money into developing the parks over the last few years, it's insane. It's one of their few sectors that has seen significant year-on-year growth since the recession. It's not a great deal for people on the other side of the country that will spend thousands for maybe a week vacation, but it's great for us Floridians that can get annual passes for a steal and don't mind staying at the shady motels off property. Netflix. Ever higher pricing, with less stuff I want to watch. The sad part is it isn't really their fault. No one wants to share the pie anymore. They all want their own pie. So now every studio is yanking shit for their own exclusive streaming service and gutting the variety that made Netflix such a good option. Ducking. Ford. I own a 2015 Focus. Should be a nice, reliable car, right? Sync stops working every few weeks. It's not working right now, as a matter of fact. Oh, and I'm on my 3rd transmission. About to get my 4th because it's making a god-awful grinding noise and won't pass inspection. Thank Christ Ford decided to extend the warranty on the clutch to 7 years. Ducking a-holes know that they're selling a terrible, broken product. I have a GMC. It's the last American car I'll ever own because Mopar is garbage. 2. Buy a Toyota. They're assembled in America. Pepperidge Farm cookies. The Milanos are practically bite-size now. Remember the time when you were happy? Pepperidge Farm remembers. Printers. Used to be you'd buy a printer, and it would last until it was obsoleted by the next big thing. Now you buy an Epson piece of shit and it clogs up a month after the warranty expires. Call their customer service, and they apologize out the ass and offer to send you a coupon for a discount on another Epson printer. Their entire business model is based on selling you crap that will break, only to keep you on the hook by selling you more crap that will break. Duck Epson, I'll just go to Kinkus. Oh, I miss those big bad HP lasers. They took 9 years to heat up and sounded like a 30-year-old lawnmower that's never been maintained. But damn, they printed like a boss. McDonald's Fountain Coke. They used to pride themselves on the fact that a Coke from one location would taste the same as the other. Also that it would be the best tasting Coca-Cola that you could get. I don't know what happened, but over the last decade or so, it is just not true. Some places don't calibrate their fountain machines at all. So at one place you'll have a Coke that is just syrup, or another one that is too much soda water, or it just doesn't taste right. My own opinion is that it is a franchise thing, and that the franchised locations are being as diligent as they should in making sure the Coke is to standard. Also, partly, a filter thing. If the machine isn't deep cleaned about once a month, and especially if the filter isn't changed, then you get some nasty flavors introduced, and an extra helping of bacteria. Victoria's Secret. Now you wash your bra once the thing falls apart. The underwear is on par with cheap multi-packs now, and more expensive than it was before the quality dropped. You can get 5 for $20 of the various Target brands, and they aren't completely flimsy. Apparently Pyrex. Not my personal view, I've just seen so many people discussing it. Not necessarily worse quality, but I personally dislike the NutriDRF. They used to be borax glass, like chemistry gear, but they changed to a soda lime glass. They are much more durable against physical shocks, but may explode from rapid temperature changes. I don't know whether they had any statistics showing significant breakage from dropping, which could be averted with the switch. Yep, I'm a designer and worked for some large house builders. They cut corners every way they can. In storage cupboards they don't put an architrave on the back of the door. Probably saves a few hundred if that. Old houses were built by people who wanted to be proud of what they were putting up. Modern builders generally just there for a wage. Girl Scout cookies. I still buy them and happily pay for them because good lord, I sold a lot as a kid. But there are so few in a package now, and the cookies themselves are smaller, and the variety of choices is strange. The peanut butter ones are now gross. I want a shitload of Samoas in each box, not 10 for $5. Microsoft Windows. How about letting ME decide whether I want your bloatware to stay installed? Cell phones. The actual quality has gone up, it just doesn't correlate with the increase in price. I just hate that they make them obsolete with upgrades that basically end up locking your phone up. But honestly, most restaurants in general, I can't really think of a chain that has kept up its quality over the years. Even some of the local ones, especially since going out to eat is so expensive. It sounds bad, but I almost feel like I get a better deal going to a premium fast food restaurant, i.e. Cane's Panda Express etc. It's slightly cheaper and honestly half the time tastes better. In general, I've found going out to eat is just a disappointing experience every time. There are still a few local spots that have made it worthwhile, however, but they are getting fewer and fewer as time goes by. Canned Chunk Light Tuna. Even 15 years ago it was good eats with a reasonable size and okay price. Got a can not long ago and can was much more expensive. Can was much smaller. Can contained what looked like floor scraps rather than the Chunk Light Tuna listed on the label. Thinking that maybe it was just this one brand, I tried several others. BZZZZT. Wrong, they are all like that. What used to be sold in the cans is now sold in those pouches at 4x the price. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.